So yeah, let's start at the top of our mat and just make sure your space is clear of all your props. And just picking up the feet, taking little steps in place, feeling the soles of the feet spread out on the earth. Let yourself come to stillness eventually. And lift all the toes up off the ground and just spread the toes as wide as you can. Feel the energy coming through the toes. Feel all four corners of the feet, how they have to press down into the earth to support you when you have your toes lifted and spreading. And then roll the toes down from the pinky to the big toe, keeping them wide so you have this kind of almost like a frog foot supporting you, nice and wide, a nice strong stance. And you can bend the knees, just bouncing a little bit into the knees, swaying from side to side. Maybe you get the arms involved and just let your arms swing. You can close your eyes. Start to feel yourself in this moment. Doing what you need, taking any movements you need. Maybe that turns into big circles in the shoulders. And then switching the direction of those circles. And then maybe we start taking circles with the head, just stretching out the neck, being really gentle if you are circling the head, taking it slowly. And as with any circular motion, let's switch the direction of the circles when you come to a natural point to do so. Let the head hang, chin comes down towards the chest. Find your stance nice and firm. Roll the shoulders up and then back so the shoulder blades swim down the back of the body, the palms face forward. And use an inhale to lift the head so the crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Just breathing here. Feel the breath. Notice where it is naturally. And then seeing if you can spread the breath to go all the way up from the toes to the crown. And then all the way back down to the ground. Feeling the breath fill the whole body. Feeling the pace, the energy slowing in the body. Notice if you have shifted your weight to one side or the other, and just gently remind yourself to find that equilibrium, that equal support between both feet. Perhaps you're noticing the micro movements that the body makes to keep itself in balance as we stand here still. Continuing to move the breath up and down the entire length of the body. Let's begin with some flowing movement. On your next inhale, let the arms lift. You can open the eyes softly and let the gaze lift up to meet the fingers overhead. And then exhale, bend generously in the knees as you fold down into a forward fold, letting the fingertips graze the earth. Inhale, Fingers come to your shins as you extend long for a half lift. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, folding back in over the legs. Inhale, roll up really slowly. Use the whole breath, one vertebra at a time. Exhale as the head arrives, hands by your side. Inhale, arms sweep up, gaze lifts. Exhale, slowly folding forward. Feel the whole movement. Inhale, half lift, hands come to shins. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale as you arrive. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold in over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale as you arrive in mountain pose. Inhale here. And exhale here. Blinking open the eyes if you've closed them. And finding a block. You can bring your feet wider. I like to have my toes pointing out. We're going to come down into a Mulasana Yogi Squat. So using the block to support the bum, giving yourself a little bit more ease in the pose. Hands come to heart center. Elbows come inside the knees. Again, lift the toes off the mat, spread the toes wide, feel the feet engage even though we are not standing and they are not bearing all of our weight. You can still feel those feet pressing down into the mat and then rolling the toes down into the earth. So you have active legs here. Pressing the elbows into the thighs and feeling the thighs press back just gently into the elbows. So you get this opening through the chest, but also maintain this sort of openness through the pelvis as well. And find that deep breath, inhaling up from the earth. And exhaling down into the earth. Inhaling. And exhaling. Continuing to breathe. And again, we're going to move from here into some flowing movement, beginning by extending your right fingertips down towards the earth. And use an inhale to open left arm up towards the sky. Let your gaze follow, trailing out over the left fingertips. And as you exhale, come back to center, switching sides. Inhale, opening right arm up to the sky as left arm extends down towards the earth. Exhale, back to center. Use your inhale to open. And your exhales to return. Inhales to open. Exhales to return. And just keep moving with your breath. Notice how the breath moves through the body. At the top of your inhales, maybe you're feeling the kidneys and the lower back expanding, refreshing. Maybe you're feeling a nice opening across the chest. Maybe you're noticing the gentle twist that we're bringing the body into as we go from side to side. Which is really good for this time of the year where we're transitioning from winter into spring, getting rid of all the cold winds that have settled in our bones, all the cold water, the snow sloshing around inside of ourselves, making room for new growth, fresh breath. And also getting a nice gentle stretch into our hips here. Once more to each side. And coming back to center, bringing the hands together at heart center, just taking a breath or two here. Allow the hips to sink heavily into the support beneath you. And from here, we'll shift into a tabletop position. If you'd like, you can have a blanket underneath your knees for padding. We're just going to start to move through some cats and cows. So on your own breath, you'll use an inhale to arch the spine. Find a cow pose, pulling the chest forward through the gateway of the arms. Exhale, rounding in, chin comes to chest as you lift into cat pose. Again, flowing with the breath. It's sort of a theme of the class, just moving and flowing and keeping our movements fluid here. To lubricate our joints, to give ourselves some nice soothing movement in the body. Noticing how each vertebra interacts with the next. And then at the outer limits of the pose, noticing how the top of the spine and the bottom of the spine are connected. We'll be moving with this flow for a little bit longer. If you'd like, you can stretch out your wrists by turning the fingertips to face your knees. That gives it a little bit more, a different dimension to this flow. It'll feel really good if you spend a lot of time at your computer or on your phone to reverse the flexion of the wrists. Let's return to just a regular tabletop position, neutral spine, fingers pointing forwards, tucking the toes. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, shift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Again, you may want to find a block here. Use it to rest the head. Give the head something to drop down in. I like to have it on the medium setting if I'm doing this, and just letting my hairline meet the block, the surface of the block. Press back through the hands, feel the muscles hugging in towards the bones of the arms, the shoulder blades engaged, rolling down the back. Keeping a little bend into the knees so you can feel the hips lift high. Inhale here. Exhale, let it out the mouth, sighing out. Inhaling. And exhale, let it out the mouth. Once more like that. Exhale, let your knees come back down towards the earth. Extend your right foot out so the toes point towards the side of the mat. Sole of the foot plants down on the mat. And then take your left foot, and you can just bring it so it's behind you a little bit like a kickstand. Your left hand is in line with your left shoulder. And on an inhale, open right arm up to the sky for a modified side plank. Press down through the sole of the foot on the ground. Press into the hand on the floor. Feel the chest open. Lift the gaze up towards the fingers. Stretch the fingers forward. Feel that really nice deep stretch through the whole side of the body, opening, yawning open towards the sky. You can stay here. Or if you'd like, you can lift your right foot up off the ground, flexing through the foot so the leg is really strong. Inhale here. And then exhale, bring the elbow to the knee in front of you. Inhale, extend long. And then exhale, bending into the knee, reaching for the foot, tapping the foot behind you. Inhale, extending long. Exhale, elbow to knee in front. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, reaching back to tap the foot. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend long. And this time, as you exhale, if you want to reach back and catch the foot, kick into the hand, open the chest, lean back. Just take a couple breaths here, opening through the chest. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Let the foot come down to the earth. And as you're ready, just lift up so you're now, your feet are in the same position that they are, but you are now upright. The arms come up over, the arms come overhead on an inhale. And then on an exhale, reach over with the left hand. Let the right hand come down to rest on the right leg. Gaze can come down to the toes. Or if it feels good to lift the gaze up underneath the armpit, that's also an option. Gate pose. The chest lifts towards the sky. Use an inhale to come up, standing tall, and then exhale, let the hands come down to the earth. Back to tabletop position. You can flow through a couple of cat-cows, just taking a couple breaths here. Before we do that, hip opening and chest opening sequence on the second side. Coming back to your neutral spine, extending your left foot out so the sole of the foot plants on the earth, toes pointing towards the long end of the mat. Right foot comes so out like a kickstand behind you. Right hand is underneath right shoulder. Once you have all that alignment, inhale, opening up, left arm to the sky. Just finding this first. This is where we begin in this modified side plank. Pressing down into the foot. Maybe the arm comes to reach forward, feeling that nice long diagonal from fingertips down to the left heel. And then inhale, lifting left foot up off the mat. Flexing into the foot. If you're doing this, you are never obligated to do this or any other pose I suggest. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, elbow comes towards the knee in front of you. Inhale, extend. Exhale, reach back and tap the foot. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tapping the foot behind you. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, reach back, catch the foot if you'd like, kick into that foot if you got it caught with the hand, opening the chest, feeling the stretch through the shoulder, through the front of the body. Feeling the core working to hold you in balance here. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Let the foot come down to the earth. And then use an inhale to lift yourself upright. Hands can stay at the hips. To begin, finding your balance. And then inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, reaching right arm to the left as left hand comes down to the left leg. Keeping the shoulder blades on the back, the chest, turning up towards the sky. Breathing deeply. Inhale, come up, and exhale, finding your way down onto the belly for a Sphinx Pose. And it feels really good to me here to have something kind of to rest my my hips and lower belly on. You can use a pillow or you can use a blanket. If you don't like this, then you don't have to do this, but I think it just feels really good to have something for the belly to release down into that isn't the ground entirely. So you get a little bit more of a restorative version of Sphinx Pose. Elbows are more or less underneath your shoulders. Forearms press down into the ground. Lift each foot and just reach the toes back and put them back down on the mat. And then gently, energetically, pull the elbows back in space so your heart shines forward. Shoulders come down the back. We're just going to hold here and breathe and notice the direction of the breath, the shape of the breath. As the heart opens, the chest opens, the back strengthens. And at any time, feel free to sigh out the mouth, letting go of stagnant energy. Can you lift your heart a little higher? Can you spin the inner thighs up towards the ceiling? Can your neck grow a little bit longer? One more inhale. And exhale, just come down to lie down. You can make a pillow with the hands, rest your forehead on top of the hands. Let the heels fall out to either side. Maybe rock the hips just gently back and forth. Feel really nice, kind of imagine that someone that you love is just putting their hand on the small of your back, just rocking you back and forth a little bit, releasing all this tension in the lower back. And then coming back to stillness. Bring your arms out into a T or a cactus shape. And then bring your bend your left knee so it's kind of like a frog leg, and you're flexing into your left foot. Take your right arm and bring it underneath your left armpit. We're just going to kind of roll into this twist, bringing your left arm up and over. Noticing where you land in the twist. So maybe your shoulders come down on the mat and your hips are lifted. Again, I like to have this support underneath me. It actually deepens the twist for me. But if you find that you don't like it, then you can always just reset yourself. And if this twist is not comfortable for you, you can always bend both knees, stacking them on top of each other. Just allowing yourself to release into this twist. Allowing the body to gradually relax with every breath. Can you release any tension in the shoulders, letting the shoulder bones get heavier, melting down towards the earth? Can you release any unnecessary effort in the hips, the legs? Can you feel the underside of your waist relaxing and lengthening towards the earth? As you're ready, just slowly first bring the left hand back over and unwind yourself so you're back with your belly on the earth. Take a moment here between sides to just feel the pose in the body. And then as you're ready, the right knee bends. The left arm comes underneath the right armpit. The right arm lifts up and over to open yourself into a twist. Staying here and breathing and allowing yourself the time and space. Then as you're ready, just rolling from here onto your back. Keeping the feet planted on the earth, maybe bringing them as wide as the mat. Just let your knees fall in towards each other. Notice the quality of the breath in the belly. See if you can soften and liquefy the inhale and the exhale. Smoothing out the edges. Take your right knee and hug it in towards the chest. And again, if you want to have your hips on this blanket still, you're more than welcome to. I think it feels nice, but if it doesn't feel good for you, don't worry about it. Feel the breath expand and contract against the thigh. And then on an inhale, flex through the foot, extending the heel up towards the sky. Bring your hands behind the thigh. Just gently pull the leg towards the body. Feeling a big stretch through the back of the leg. Your leg may not get entirely straight, and that's fine. Perhaps you walk the hands up to the back of the calf, or you could even take your right fingers around your big toe. And you can keep the left knee bent, or if you'd like, you can extend the left leg long on the ground and use your left hand to just slowly press, gently, energetically press that left hip down so it stays grounded. Relax the shoulders towards the ground. On an inhale, let your right leg fall over to the right just as much as it wants to go. You don't need to force it anywhere. You might use your elbow as a support. You might turn your head to the left. Feeling the opening through the inner seam of the right leg. Energetically pressing through the heel to extend the length of the inseam. Inhale, guide the leg back up to center. Let the knee come into the chest. Take a breath here. And exhale, let your right leg come back to the ground as you hug your left knee into center. Use an inhale, flexing the heel up towards the sky, bringing us into a hamstring stretch. Hands can be behind the thigh. And slowly, maybe they work their way up. Maybe you notice that one side is very different than the other side, like me. And just notice, don't judge, just because one side isn't the same doesn't mean the other side, one side is better than the other. It just is. We're noticing the effects of living in our bodies. Pressing the heel up towards the sky. Maybe the back of your leg is trembling. That is nice, good, productive. And then let the left leg come open out to the left. Guide your leg back up to center, hug it into the chest. Let your right knee come in to meet it, hugging both knees into the chest. Put the soles of the feet together, just grab the ankles and gently pull the heels down towards the groin. Let the shoulders melt down into the earth. If you'd like a little bit deeper of a hip stretch, you can turn this into a happy baby, grabbing onto your ankles or your outer edges of your feet, or even behind the knees, and flexing the feet up towards the sky, using the hands to bring the knees down towards the armpits on either side of the body. What is kind of nice, if you do have the support still underneath your hips like me, is that you can kind of feel your lower back just a little bit freer in this happy baby position. And I was reading Krishnamacharya, who is like the founder, essentially, of all of the yoga that we do in the modern world. I was reading his book, The Yoga Makaranda, the other day, and he was saying that true yoga masters inhale through their nose and then exhale through their anus. So if you want to be a true yoga master, we are doing a lot of farting, I guess, which seems more accessible in a position like this than perhaps in some other positions. I just thought that was funny. And as you're ready, just let the feet come down to the earth. Bring your hands down alongside your hips. On an inhale, lift the hips up away from the earth for a bridge pose. Just keep the hands pressing down into the earth for this bridge pose. We're not looking to go super deep. We're just opening through the front of the body, feeling the strength of the legs, feeling how our legs have been refreshed through our practice. One more inhale here. Really press into the feet. Feel the hips lift a little higher. And then exhale, roll down. Remove any props from underneath you so the full length of the spine can meet the ground. And a couple options for our last pose before our Shavasana. If you like to put your legs up the wall, or just you can put a block underneath your sacrum and keep the legs up in the air that way for a nice inversion. Or if you're really craving some more chest opening, which I am, I'm going to use my blocks to make a little ramp with my pillow to lie back on, and you can kind of just set the blocks up on whatever height makes sense for you. If you don't have blocks, you can always just lie back on the pillow or improvise something. And then scooting the hips up and just lying back, letting the hands fall open on the ground, letting the shoulders drop down. Your legs can just extend out long in front of you. If you like a Baddha Konasana with the feet together and the knees falling open, that can be nice. I know that can be a little bit taxing on the knees, but it is a nice way to get a little bit more hip opening while you get your chest opening. And whatever pose you've chosen, letting yourself have the space, the time, and the deep breath. Fully inhabit the shape. Watch it evolve over the course of the next few minutes. Feel the boundaries of the body starting to soften. Sinking heavier into the earth. Feeling this deep, smooth breath moving almost on its own without you needing to put effort into it. Allow your face to soften and notice how when you soften the muscles of the face, your mind loosens its grip. Thoughts begin to slip away, settle down. As you're ready, over the course of the next minute or so, just begin to transition yourself into Shavasana or a seated meditation if you prefer. Being gentle, allowing the body to retain its sort of blurry edges as you move props out of the way. Or repurpose your props. And props are always great in Shavasana too. I think I'm going to use my blocks underneath my knees today. Which is a nice way to release any stress in the lower back. Just for me, at least, to sink a little deeper into rest. Notice where your hands want to rest. If they want to rest on the body, let them rest on the body. They come naturally to the ground. There they are. Allow yourself to be aware of the sounds outside. Allow yourself to be aware of the sensations on the body, the air on your flesh. The fabric of your clothes against your skin. The breath entering and exiting the nostrils. Being here. Stillness. And ease. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you like, but if you would like to close the practice with me, begin by drawing a deeper breath into the body. And let that breath turn into movement slowly from small to big stretches. Take your time to move props out of the way. Take your time to pet your dog. And take your time to slowly come up to a seated position to close the practice. The hands together at heart center. Taking one more breath, seal in the effects of our practice. And bowing forward in honor of each other, sharing this time and the space together in practice. Namaste. Thank you, yogis.